Yes, Saurabh is also here. And okay, so before we start, let me do a bit of context setting here, and what exactly we are trying to see, and what exactly we are trying to understand from Saurabh. We all know the situation which we are in, and it needs no repetition. So I will skip the introduction part of it. Why, what exactly the situation we are in, and so there is enough on the media and everything. But what I wanted to talk about is, this is one of the longest, layover at least I have seen in my professional career of almost 30 years. I mean, I don't remember an instance, where, people have been forced to stay out of their offices, their jobs for almost a month and a half. And this is almost forced, or whatever you may call it, government mandated, forced. And we don't know when the situation is going to ease out. Is it going to happen on 4th May? It is going to happen on July. It is going to happen in October. We don't know. And this creates a tremendous amount of uncertainty among everyone's mind. We don't know, sitting here, we don't know what stage our businesses are, what stage our employees are, what stage we are in. And when they do get back to office, what frame of mind they will have. And there are hundreds of worries, which we all carry. It is about job, everywhere you read about people cutting down jobs, people cutting down on salaries, and our commitments don't disappear just like that. And it creates a tremendous amount of stress in our mind. I was reading an instance, just about a day before yesterday, where some employees were fired, and when they got to know, when they reached office and their access card was not functional, or their email IDs and passwords were changed. This is a well, what I would say. There is very little to say about this kind of way, but I'm sure there is a better way to handle such kind of a situation. Having it said this, not everything is in our control, but the basic part of our life is that we have to push for things which we can get control over. And no matter how bad the situation is, there's nothing which stops us from being more human towards each other. So this is what the idea of whole conversation is all about. But we are also cognizant of the fact that as a manager, or as a lot of you are from HR background and a lot of you are from people managers. Saurabh, you are not audible. Can you just unmute yourself? I think just check. Yeah. That when we get back to office, as a manager, we will have a tremendous, burden on our shoulder. Too often, especially for HR people, too often it will be difficult for us. We are the one who are carrier of bad news. So if salary is to be cut, if people have to be fired, we are the one who have to go out and tell people. And the same goes for managers also. And the kind of strain it will place on everyone's mind and soul is something which is unimaginable. And so we thought, I invited, Saurabh to come and share, some of his thoughts onto it and how we can, cope up with this. Saurabh, in his previous life or, past avatar, I think somebody has sent me. Okay. I'm audible, no? There's no issue with that. Yeah, yeah. Saurabh in his previous life has been a corporate executive like a lot of us. He has worked and handled multiple teams. He has worked abroad. He has been a startup entrepreneur, everything. Then one day he gave up and realized that his true calling in life is to help people, cope up with day-to-day struggles in life in terms of, mental health, which he choose as his calling in life or his calling card in life. So he gave up all of it, his corporate life, to become a holistic trainer. and he has been working successfully for a number of years, having had trained over 10,000 persons across the world, and he brings in a tremendous experience in this line. So it's our pleasure to have Saurabh with us, who will guide us through this journey and how we can reimagine our workforce and reintegrate them. Because as he puts it across to me yesterday, it is like having a new life or a rebirth for some of us, or rather all of us. So thank you, Saurabh. So over to you. Even please take us through the journey of how we can help us, our people, our team get back into office. Let me
Thank
put
you
it
so
that
much.
way. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Amitabh.
Yeah.
I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are clearly audible.
Okay, perfect. So, everyone, welcome and thank you so much for taking your time out and joining us here. We all know that you all are going through a lot of different things you're doing in life with different webinars, learning stuff. So, hopefully, as you go through this journey, you will have learned something more as you go on. Firstly, Amitabh, thank you so much for that amazing introduction. It's always humbling to hear myself, the work I've done. Anyways, without further ado, let's move on. So, this is something interesting I read. To remove the burden to win. Remove the burden to win, and your chances to success increase manifold. So how does it factor here? Is because we are all trying to figure out how will we make it in this new journey of life which has been given to us. The objective is that we don't need to think about how we're going to make it. It's about how we're going to be happily proceeding every single day. So, in this journey, we will have a lot of exercises. So, unless you're driving, I would like you now to all close your eyes and just focus on your ears of listening. I'll give you another 10 seconds for everybody to close their eyes. Find a very comfortable spot and just go in the space of listening. Focusing on just your ears, and to help you, you can say to yourself, I hear the unheard. That will help you focus even better. Very good. So now I want you to focus with your eyes closed on your breath. Just keep focusing on your breath. In and out. In and out. And as you do, focus on the sound your breath is making. As it goes in, it's so. As it comes out, it's hum. Keep doing this because this helps you balance every single aspect of your life without any stress impacting you or affecting you at all. Just focus. Breath in, breath out. So, hum. And as you're doing this, I will take you through a story. Keep your eyes closed. A few weeks ago, we were happily walking down the streets in beautiful parks and gardens. शाम मस्तानी थी, रात सुहानी थी, दिन नए थे. Everything was easy because we knew how to move around. We were planning our trips. Children were going to school. We were working hard. We were looking to open the next new company. We were looking for a promotion. We were looking to talk to our clients. And suddenly one day, the big bad corona hit us. Initially we felt, अरे हमें क्या होगा? It's far away. It's not associated with us. And then the lockdowns happened. And we started realizing that this is true. We got prepared as warriors to fight against the coronavirus by staying at home. Yes, I am the one who is going to help the whole world beat this virus, this enemy that's there. And as time passed, we started enjoying our time at home. We started exercising. किताबें पढ़नी शुरू की, movies देखनी शुरू की. and 2 weeks later, you're like, okay, this is not going away. I'm getting bored now. I need something new. I need to get back to work. And we keep on hearing the news about the lockdown getting over. You can all open your eyes now. So, this is the journey so far. And setting it up, what we're going to talk about is the solution to all of this, giving you various exercises to do that can help you and your team members and people at home cope with this situation and get ready when we have a new world, calling it reimagination of the current world. So, what does all of this affect and how does it impact you? Do you know that every single news you get is like a little trauma that's going to be in your body? Multiple little traumas can lead to heart disease, stroke, diabetes, asthma, depression, and various other diseases. And most of all, it causes inefficiency at work. हमारे team members, हमारे employees will not be working as well as they were before. It's like a new start for every single person. Let's move into the next exercise. You can keep your eyes open for this. This is called the balancing breath. In this exercise, again, this is for releasing your mental health, but also in times of imbalance, when you feel everything is over, you're feeling a little depressed, this helps you come back to a situation or a space in your mind where you're relaxed and you can start thinking clearly. You can also do this when you are stressed out about certain decisions you need to make. So let's get ready. Take your right thumb, put it on under your right nostril and breathe in through the left. And breathe out through the left. Breathe in through the left and breathe out through the left. We will do this about 10 times. Breathe in through the left and breathe out through the left. Breathe in through the left and breathe out through the left, going as slowly as possible. What does this do? The left breath is actually the controller of relaxation in your body. Whenever you feel aggravated, heated up, angry, upset, you use the left breath to relax you. It's also called the moon breath, also called the mother's breath. Now we will move to the right hand side. So you block your left nostril and breathe in through the right. Keep breathing in and breathing out. You can do it for as long as you want. There is no harms or side effects to this. The right breath is needed when you're low on energy, when you're feeling that everything is lost, when you're feeling insecure about your future. It is also called the sun breath, the father breath. And let's move on. So we just talked about the situation we are in. But guess what? Lockdown is going to get over very soon. Isn't that exciting? Not really, because around the world, all mental health experts can tell you this one simple thing. It's not going to be easy. Because what are you carrying? You're carrying a lot of fear. So much fear that your fear is equivalent to something between a child going to school for the first time, जब बच्चा पहली बार स्कूल जाता है, and a prisoner leaving prison. That's how the situation has become. Based on all the various newses you've heard, based on you staying at home, based on you not being able to vent out your feelings, based you not being able to talk to your friends about your marriage, your parents, your children, it just is all stuck in there. And you have to, at all times, be relaxed because you're all together and you don't know when you will leave. So, what are the various fears that are going to go through? Once my lockdown is over, will me and my family be safe? When my child goes to school, how sure am I that the school will take care of him or her? Will I have a job long term? When I go to work or when I go to my friend's house and see someone sneeze, how can I tell them that they must leave because they may have the virus? This is what we're carrying with us as we go on. Let's talk specifically about work right now. Who are the people who are going to impact the efficiencies of your workspace? The business owners and CEOs, of course, they are the head of the family at work, the HR people, the employees themselves, and the various families of the employees. I'm calling it the solution because I work with mind, body, and soul. I have worked on 25 different human modalities. So, moving forward, let's do another exercise to understand the solution better. So, everybody, please close your eyes again. And remember, if you have your eyes open, it won't work. So, close your eyes, focusing on your breath. Just keep focusing on your breath. Now, as you breathe in, ask the oxygen and just ask. Believe me, it works. As you breathe in, ask the oxygen to go towards your gut or your stomach. अपनी सांसों को अपने पेट की तरफ जाने दीजिए. बस बोलिए, मेरी सांसें मेरे पेट की तरफ जाओ. And when they release, let them release out. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Do this for about 10 times where you allow your breath to go to your stomach. Observe if your stomach is contracting when you're breathing out and expanding when you're breathing in. Now, let's shift our breathing in to our brain. So, just like you said, asked the breath to move to the gut, ask for it to move to the brain. हमारे मस्तिष्क पर, हमारे मस्तिष्क की तरफ हमारी सांसें अब जाना शुरू करें. And do this for 10 times. Breathe in and breathe out. 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 And the last set is towards the heart. Ask for your सांसें to move towards your dil. Breath to the heart, 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 breath to the heart. Take a deep breath and open your eyes. What has this exercise done? It has done further balancing of all the vital organs of your body. And I will come to it why in a minute. But let's start with the head of the family, the business owners, the homemakers. You are going to be in charge of making sure everything is okay at the home front and the work front. The same rules apply. But let's talking about business people. Look at your business being born again. So is it time to revise the vision? Are we ready to make changes in our goals? Why do I say that? Because while your workforce comes back to work, they're not going to be ready to take over the weight of long-term 5-year goals. They need to see smaller goals and get successful so they can get back into what they call the thick of things, getting busy, getting ready to move forward. And there is nothing better to energize a person than success. Similarly, for kids, give them short-term goals. Similarly, for your families, if you had vacations to go to, look at different goals you can achieve every single day. We will talk more about it as we go along, but look at those goals and say, can you change them to something shorter and more successful? And very importantly, do weekly calls with all your team members of positivity. Speak to your family every morning of positive stuff. You need to make this happen. This is going to be your baby to succeed. We are all back at work and we are all stuck with restrictions. Think of yourself walking in, there'll be a person with a thermometer there, with a sanitizer, the desks will all be separated. It's going to look very awkward. And this is where the HR people would come in. And they need to make everything interesting and exciting. Music, colors, balloons, whatever is needed needs to be put in place so that despite all the restrictions, anybody coming to work feels invited and welcome. Now I will introduce you to what is called three intelligences healing and why we did the gut, heart, and brain breath exercise. So our ancestors have known this, and now science has also proven that our intelligence doesn't lie just in our brain, it's also in our heart and also in our gut, which means all the trauma, all the mental issues, all the depression we went through in the last month or so, or a little bit more, is going to be stored in all these three places. So you cannot just work on the brain to elevate or remove this. You just can't have logical reasoning to get your team or your family back to work, back to normal life. You have to work on each aspect. What does gut entail? So the gut health, just like it's in the stomach, entails digestion. Digestion is not just about food. सिर्फ खाने का नहीं है. It is about conversation. ये बात नहीं पची. I couldn't digest this conversation. I can't digest this idea. This is where the gut gets affected. What is about the heart? The heart is all about compassion, about showing love, about showing kindness. And the brain is all about the logic. And we are going to go through step by step how, with some tips, you can help your team members and your families resolve the mental issues through all these three intelligences. Fixing the gut intelligence. Always have an honest conversation. Please make sure there are no rumors at work, everything is quashed, everything is removed. Have transparency across the board, be very clear, be very precise, and make sure people know exactly what's happening. And it doesn't come from anywhere outside. There should be one chain of communication. Similarly, at home, don't throw stories. Be honest with everybody. Make sure everybody knows what's happened. Because believe it or not, everybody has the potential to take in whatever you're giving to them, as long as it is given like roses and not like a brick. I will talk about that in a bit. Pay attention to what people are eating at work. Make sure they're eating at the right times, because it's very important that they get to eat properly so they can function properly, their gut intelligence works properly. It should be healthy eating, eating at the right time. Washroom facilities need to be clean. They should not feel that they come into any place that is less than their home at the moment. Because anything that is different will make them hyper, will take them again towards sadness and depression, reducing their efficiencies at work. Have welcoming scents at work. Spray fragrance, it will definitely help people elevate their moods and make them feel much, much better in working. Also, the same things go for your home. All right, can we do a fun exercise now? And you don't have to close your eyes for this. If everybody is ready, we're going to. Can you all unmute yourselves for 2 minutes? Don't worry about the sound, it's all good. Okay. So, the exercise we're going to do is called the jump and clap exercise. Time at home or at work, some point of time, that people's energies are failing or dropping. Clap. 1, 2, 3. Good. Get out. Just clap. 1, 2, 3. And the louder you do it, the better it happens. All right, so everybody can go on mute now. Thank you. Everybody, please go on mute as much as you can. Please go on mute, go on mute, go on mute. Thank you. The second exercise is about jumping. Did you know that by jumping one time, you increase your efficiency and energy levels by 30%? So every time or anytime anybody is feeling low at work, jump. Make them jump. For whoever wants to do it, because I'm sure a lot of people will be too embarrassed to do it. But it works wonders. How can you use this at work? So let's say somebody had to be let go from work. It's going to happen. Next day, start the morning by a clapping exercise so that energy levels are raised again and everybody is back to their normal self and moving forward. Simple, simple and very effective. Let's move to the next one, the heart intelligence. So I can't emphasize enough. Please, please, please be very compassionate to people. The best way to do this is whenever you're having a conversation, put your hand on your heart. By the way, your heart is in your center. And then speak. It is almost impossible. I would say 80% of people switch to compassionate moods as soon as their hand goes on their heart, no matter how they're feeling. So any conversation you have, if you can, put your hand to your heart and have that conversation. Or If you're going to have a tough negotiation or tough conversation, close your eyes, put your hand to your heart, stay like this for about a minute with feeling your heartbeat, and then go into the conversation. Again, the conversation will be far more compassionate, more fruitful, and you would be willing to listen, and anybody else across you would also be willing to listen a lot more. Please look at all the processes, be it at home and outside. Whatever is causing stress, they need to be thrown out the door and a new process needs to be made. Realize that everybody will be practicing social distancing, but create safe places if you can in your workplace for people to socialize and ask their friends, hey, how are you? Because despite what anybody might say, we are human beings and we are born to socialize. It may also be that you have a green room in your office where people are allowed to go. Spending time with trees and plants is also socializing. That also helps people elevate all the stress they may have, eradicate all the stress that they may have, and come back more efficiently. Talk to family. This is extremely important. Talking to family members, because people have been used to spending time with families, so now you can't take them away from talking to families and spending time with families. Resolving conflicts. This is very important again for work and home. Anytime a conflict is arising, and it will, because people's mental health is at that space, that the conflict will be there. Ask people to train themselves to walk away from that conversation. So anybody who is talking must realize that the person walking away doesn't mean any harm. They're just trying to avoid conflict. Postpone those conversations, because when you come back with a better frame of mind, you will be able to talk better. So this was asked of quite a few people who had registered, that there will be bad news shared in the company where we have to let go of people. So before you have that conversation with anybody, I would like you to do this exercise. And I have done this for myself. I've been part of various companies. So being a manager, you've had to let go of people. I've always found that whatever change people see, it's always better for them, including myself. So this is called the stepping stone imagination exercise. So again, for a minute, close your eyes and think of any bad news you may have heard in the last 24 hours. Doesn't matter what. Rishi Kapoor's death is one of them. So focus on any of those bad news you may have had. And now write that bad news down in your imagination on a brick. आप सिर्फ सोचिए कि मैं एक ब्रिक पे अपनी खराब न्यूज लिख रहा हूं या लिख रही हूं. उसको ब्रिक को नीचे गिरने दीजिए, लेट इट फॉल टू द ग्राउंड, और उस ब्रिक को स्टेपिंग स्टोन बना के जंप कर जाइए. So make that brick into a stepping stone and jump up. This is such an amazing exercise because you will realize that every single thing that happens in your life, a receiver of bad news or a giver bad news, in both cases, it is only and only for both people's betterment. They will thrive. They will go to the next level as long as they've done this exercise and they believe that anything happening to them is for their betterment. It'll release both parties of any guilt, any sadness. Some of them may have been your friends. It'll allow both of you to take your relationships together in a new manner. It'll be reborn and reimagined. I know some people are putting something in text messages. Unfortunately, right now I can't look at them. So please hold on to your questions. We will give you a chance to put across your questions as we go along. We'll definitely give people time to do that. The next exercise, again, is very important. Now, this is for the brain intelligence, which is called the awareness. And for one more time, we're going to have people close their eyes and just stop whatever you're doing for a minute. Be aware of what you can hear, what you can smell, what you can feel, what you can see. If with your eyes closed, what images are coming? What can you taste? These five senses, just stay with them and see what's happening with your five senses for a minute. And now start feeling, hey, what can I see? What is this? What does it smell like? What does it smell like? What is this taste in my mouth? Is it the food from this afternoon? Is it my breakfast? Is it from dinner from yesterday? Or is it something from a few days ago? What am I feeling? Hot, cold? What's happening? This is called the awareness to mindfulness exercise, where we go from knowing that we can smell, hear, feel, taste, and see to knowing what actually it is. If you do this exercise before you go into a meeting or doing an important conversation, you will get the sense of how the person across you from is. You will start getting a sense of their moods. You will be able to gauge how you should speak to them, in what tone and manner, which will enable you to have better conversations. This again can be taught to every single person in your team at your home so that the conversations can be easy. People can realize that other people are under stress and they can act accordingly. Very effective, used by a lot of successful people for very successful negotiations. And coming to the final part of healing the mental side of things, this we know, all of us know a lot of, clear goals and roles, making sure everybody is very clear of what they're doing. There is no ambiguity at all. People are not confused. Achha, main ye kar raha hu ya wo kar raha hu. Don't give them work that was not related to them before telling them what's it all about. So make it very clear. Like we said, keep your conversation completely transparent. For HR people and for business owners, look at managers in your office who are doing guilt or fear-based management versus motivation. Anybody who is doing fear-based management, they need to be trained to become motivators, because fear and guilt will not make your team efficient anymore. It would have worked in the past, but right now the call of day is motivation only. Good words, strong words, popular words. Just go with something which is going to just make people go energized and actually want to do things for you, rather than nahi kiya to naukri chali jayegi. No conversations like that. People do have vacation times. If they like to take them even after the lockdown is over, after a month, please don't make them sweat over it. Realize they're just trying to rejuvenate their energies, clear their minds, and come back. So please allow that. Honor post-work hours. That means if the work is done at 7, please don't call at 9 again and ask for something. Allow people to have that space to be with family, to be with themselves. It's very important for them to start getting back into the groove of things. There was a conversation or a question asked on work from home. There'll be more stuff that I'm talking in a little bit, but here, remember, when we are on Zoom, a 1 hour of Zoom call is equivalent to 10 times the mental effort put in a personal meeting. So a personal meeting is 10 times simpler than a Zoom meeting. So remember that before you schedule multiple Zoom calls for people. Let's do an exercise, shall we? To ease things for us as we go along, for each of us, and again, can be taught to everybody. You don't
Yes.
have to close. You don't have to close your eyes. What you got to do is break down your day into various segments. It could be 2 hours, 3 hour segments. Doesn't matter what. So let's say I'll tell you what I do. So when I wake up in the morning, my first segment, my wake up time is at 4:30. So 4:30 to 7:30 is my first segment, in which I do my yoga, I do my meditation, I read for myself, I go for a walk. Nowadays, not really outside, so I walk inside. And my dog really hates that because he likes to sleep at that point of time. But so be it. Anyways, so before I start, I say I wish that this segment goes of my day goes the best ever possible. And then I go about that 3 hours. The next 3 hours is about getting ready for work, having a bath, making breakfast, multiple things are happening. So, doing that, again, I would say let this segment go the best ever possible. And I break down the whole day till I sleep. And try this. You will see how each segment gets better and better for you every single day. Success comes to you in whatever manner you choose. Simple exercise, right? All right, so let's talk about work from home because a lot of people had questions about it. What do we do for work from home? Create a fixed schedule for everybody, including your family, and let the family know this is a schedule for you and this is a schedule for them. Have a morning exercise in your schedule and breakfast time, lunch time, dinner time, all around. If the kids are 9 and above, make one person in the family daily in charge for the schedule to be fixed. So they will actually make sure that you are following your schedule every single day. So one day you are, one day your wife is, one day your kids are, your husband is, grandparents are, parents are. Just go around spreading it. It's entertaining, it's interesting, and it's fun. Have fixed working spots. So designate it. If you and your wife are both working, then make sure that you guys are have your fixed working time, working spaces, and that doesn't change on a daily basis. If it needs to change, it needs to be communicated. Stretch every 30 minutes. Very important. Exercise yourself, stretch yourself. Simple stretching works. Create a loving atmosphere. What we just talked about, touch your heart and speak. Whenever you want to have a family time or family conversation, allow people to have the space to speak their mind if they're feeling depressed, but ask them to touch their hearts first. For the listeners and the speakers, because it allows for you to speak honestly and softly. It's like roses rather than bricks of conversation. The mood switches from being depressed, irritated, angry to relaxed and calm. Everybody should contribute to household chores. And of course, if you were used to speaking to your colleagues and gossiping about it, please set time to do that as well. Very important. To summarize, what are the 4 dimensions of recovery to get out of where we are and get ready for the new life? Keep the workspace hygienic, keep the employees' health in mind, make sure anybody with symptoms is not forced to come to work. They should know they can stay at home. Create short term goals, allowing for focus. Allow people to stay connected with home because they have been for so many days and weeks. And give them space with the HR people to come and share whatever they're feeling. A no judgment space. They can speak in any manner possible and it would be okay. So, This is my information. If your eyes are open, I'm going to stop the screen sharing now and we can start taking questions if anybody has.
Namaste.
And yeah, Hanji, boliye.
Namaste. This is Tulasi Priya from Chennai.
Yes, Tulsi, please.
So, last 1 hour just flew. Yeah, simple yet powerful.
Thank you.
One small recap on the exercises you did in between, no?
So we will be sharing the recordings of all of this, so you can have that.
Okay, fine.
Because I know you will forget. You can tend to forget a lot of information. So yes, Amitabh has gracefully recorded everything.
And I made a note. I always be with a pen and paper. So last 2 exercises I made. So I was like, every word made sense and different. Gut.
Thank you.
I really don't know that gut has so much to do with it. Thank you so much. It's a nice one.
Most welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Alini, and thank you everybody for your kind words. Questions? Anybody?
Can I have one question, sir?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Please state your name as well.
Yeah, my name is Nagendra Prasad. I work for APJ Group.
Okay.
Basically, the biggest worry of all workforce is the job insecurity.
Right.
That is the only thing. Though you told that things have to be taken positive and every mishap is a step in positive direction, but then the heart and mind doesn't rest with it when there is a huge possibility of something of that happening.
Right.
So I really do not know how to address it, because it can happen to anybody at any age and
absolutely. So we've shared about 6 exercises. So this is what I do, okay? And believe you, I have gone through the same things you do, and I still do. Everybody, we all still in the human body. We still have all the insecurities in the world, and insecurities right now, like you said, are about for people who are business, will my business survive tomorrow? For people who are on work, will my job survive tomorrow? For people who are at home with their wives and husbands, are like, will my marriage survive all of this conflict? So it's across the board that's happening. Try all these exercises. If you look at them, they're about half an hour to 45 minutes in a day. Anytime you have any of these worries, just pick any one of these exercises and you will start feeling relaxed. Because what is going to happen is going to happen. See, that's not going to change.
Yes.
But what do we do next after that can only happen properly if our mind, heart, and gut is relaxed. And these exercises are to balance that, so that when you take your next action, okay, I lost my job today. Now what's my next action? Am I going to go frantic and I'm going to start applying everywhere, or am I going to calm down and I'm going to plan, this is what I'm going to do? Yes. So creating schedules, of course, is very important once that happens. But सबसे पहले जो चीज हुई नहीं है उसके लिए टेंशन मत लीजिए, क्योंकि जरूरी नहीं है कि वो हो. Okay? Yes, the stress is there. So use this exercise to elevate, to remove the stress completely, to eradicate the stress completely, and then move forward. And you can do these exercises as many times in a day as possible. And I know people are going through tremendous stress. This is equivalent to you getting heart attack every minute. It's like, abhi ho gaya. It's like my body is continuously in fear. Chale ja raha hai. Ruk hi nahi raha hai. So, how do you solve that? Use these exercises. It calms your body down, telling it it's now normal for us to hear these stories. So you don't need to get into the mode of getting ready that something wrong is happening. There is no disaster that's happening. It is now a normal thing. It will take its time. And these exercises will bring you back to normalcy, so that even how you were before the lockdown happened, when any of this happened, you will get into a better state of mind, and 100% a better state of mind will lead you to better decisions, which will lead you to a better future. And you will be able to gauge and change your actions as you go along for everything you do. So not just the work issues, but everything in life. I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, thank you so much. You have increased my confidence. Basically, that's how I am feeling.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Amitabh, I think your voice is muted. No, you can't hear you. Still can't hear you. Shall we take another question? If there's another question, till Amitabh gets his.
There are questions. There are some. I think there's some technical
Sure.
glitch I'm facing. So, Saurabh, can you read out from the chat box and then?
बाहर का ही मैं भेजूंगी उसको सारा हार्डवेयर और सॉफ्टवेयर का ही आके फटाफट
Audible now?
भेज रही हूँ.
So there is a question. Everybody, please go on mute.
Okay.
Okay. Everybody, can we request you to
ठीक
go on
है.
mute?
डॉक्टर रुचिका मैं 1-2 दिन में बना के ना बाहर वाली पूरी उसको मैं भेज दूंगी ताकि अगर कोई रेलेवेंस लगेगा तो ठीक है.
Guys, give 1 second.
Somewhere you cannot say I also want to belong. Cannot pile on to people.
Hello.
Thank you. I'm also muted now.
Yeah, it's working now.
Yeah, it's working. So I saw a question which says, "Sir, how to start a conversation with somebody you're going to communicate bad news with?" So during this exercise, we talked about the heart exercise. Please practice that before you go in. Okay. First make yourself feel comfortable about communicating this news. After the heart exercise, do the stepping stone exercise so that you realize and you know that this person is going to go into a better future. These two exercises together will help you give confidence to go and speak it. And when you speak, be into that person's shoes of how they're feeling. When you speak from that, and how do you be in that? You just ask, as I speak, may I speak from their from their perspectives. So when you say it, they will listen. 9 out of 10 times, you will have a person who will be understanding, will listen. Hear them out completely, please. Let them speak because it's very important for them to speak. And then, if they choose to, share these exercises with them to have a better future. Because it is destined. I have not seen even one of the people who I've had to let go during my career ever do worse. They've always done better. As long as they believe that. Hopefully that answers your question. I think this was Manish Trivedi who had asked this question.
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
And of course, I perfected it, but sometimes what happens when you communicate a message to your employee or your friends, or your friend with him, you're in HR department, and the person in some other department, the people normally comes back with a comment, leave this HR Fundabaji, you come to my show, it is very easy to console, but it is difficult to face the challenges.
And you're right, it's absolutely right. So all you have to say is you're right, it's absolutely right. This is what you are talking about, sir, is you're talking about taking it personally. We end up taking these actions very personally while they're nothing but something which you have a responsibility towards. You can't explain that to the person who's lost their job. You can't. It's not possible. They will be in the frame of mind. What you can do is only for yourself. One, don't take it personally because things will change and things will be okay for you. The exercises I've shared are for you to start becoming okay before and after this has happened. Will you feel bad? Absolutely. He's your friend. Of course, you will feel bad for him as a friend. But when you are doing this role as an HR person, firstly realize you're talking on behalf of the company. It's not Manish who's talking. It's company XYZ who's talking. And Manish will feel bad for his friend no matter what. And Manish has to do these exercises before and after the meeting to feel better about it himself. So then after the work is done and Manish goes to meet his friend personally, it's not about work, it's about Manish the friend. So please make sure you create that boundary, that separation between Manish, who works for XYZ, and Manish is who's a friend of, I'll take my name, Saurabh here because that's easy, who let Saurabh go in the afternoon. Two different people.
Thank you, sir. Well,
The reaction you get normally is because you feel guilty. You feel personally guilty, while it has nothing to do with you personally. And you are trying very hard to make sure that the person doesn't feel bad. Let's face the facts like we face the facts with this, that they will feel bad and they will get upset and they will be angry. And in this day and age, they will be angry 10 times more than they were before. So that will happen. So don't take it to heart. Work on yourself. It'll be all okay.
thanks, sir.
Sir, can I ask my question? I am Sanjeev.
Yeah, please go ahead, Sanjeev.
Yes.
Yeah. Sir, due to lockdown, as it comes, like management has no one, or it is just their mind, ki the staff is in action. They are thinking in their mindset. Here we can work with the even.
Sanjeev ji, your voice is breaking. I cannot hear you well. Can you turn off your video and then speak?
Okay. I'll 1 minute.
Or do you want to type your question? Then we can take it.
I have typed, sir. It is there. Due to lockdown.
The management general came to know that they have excess staffs in their mind. Will it going to affect the working staff? So, are you talking about from the efficiency perspective? The answer is yes.
Yeah,
every single company is thinking exactly the same way. Every single company is thinking not only in terms of staff but also in terms of travel and all those things going on. But realize this: this happens every year. It's not just that coronavirus is something. People are looking at ways to make things more efficient. Who will survive? People who are not doing day-to-day job but are doing intellectually strong jobs will survive long term. So start looking at places. If you are not trained yourself in intellectually or thinking based work, you need to start doing that. But remember, even though the companies might be thinking initially that, oh, we don't need so many people right away because they are reacting to something short term, as they start doing their plans and they start looking at the larger picture when lockdown opens, those plans will change as well. And if somebody's lost their job, they'll be back into the workforce also, because no, it's not possible that you have had 60% of employees who are not needed. 10, 15, 20% normally every year the companies anyway remove based on performance. So I wouldn't say, if you are looking intellectually, if you are upgrading your skills every year, you shouldn't worry about it. There will be, I can't say there won't be. There will be hiccups short term for sure, but long term, as long as you are an intellectually powerful, intellectual job where you're thinking, where you're strategizing, you will be fine.
So Saurabh, we are almost at the end of the session, so we will take just one more question if anyone has a question. One question was there that will we get the recording, so we will be sharing the recording of the session. Not an issue. Anyone else for the question? Saurabh, I think they want you to say something else.
Okay, so let's end with this. Everybody, please know, and I have learned this through years and years of working in work and in my work in spirituality and life coaching, as they call it. Nothing in this life happens for your worsement. Everything happens for your betterment. As long as you can accept that and move forward with it, doors will open for you every single time. Astrologers also will tell you the same thing, कि समय को अगर आप लेके चलेंगे समय आपके लिए कभी खराब नहीं होता. Challenges are only to take you to the next level so that you go from becoming a manager to a CEO. As long as you accept them for that. So I think on that positive note, we can end this. And I would like to thank every single person here who has joined us. Your energies have been awesome and amazing. I wish the best to every single person. May you all succeed 100-fold from where you are now and become fabulous people, homemakers, whatever you're doing. Fathers, mothers, children, everything. Over to you, Amitabh.
So thank you, Saurabh, for a wonderful session, and I don't have words to express my thanks. What I would call as a gratitude to you for this wonderful and amazing insight. And in fact, whatever you spoke was very practical and something we can always take it back in our day-to-day life. Not only during this crisis period, even after this period is over. And as they say, the sun always shines at the best after the darkest night. So we look forward to it, and I'm sure one of these days, these dark days will be over, and there will be sun which will come out, and it will shine brighter and better on everyone's life. So till such time, please keep your calm. Just look at it, that there is a compassion for everyone around you, no matter what happens. I mean, what your personal situation is, and we shall overcome this phase also in our life. Thank you, Saurabh, once again. And what I will do is I will also forward the Saurabh's contact detail for all of you. And in case you want to get in touch with him for any of the specialized session for your organization or some for yourself also, please get in touch with him, and he will definitely help you out with this. Thank you, Saurabh, once again.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys, everyone. Thank you so much. Wonderful having you with us.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Wonderful, Saurabh ji. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
It was amazing.